It's Courageously Living You. I'm Audra, and this is
Sandy.
And today we're bringing you some of our favorite words to use, some Neville Goddard tied in there because we absolutely love him and his teachings. He makes it so simple. He makes it so easy. He's taught us so much in our lives about really staying present. And
Well, the thing that he constantly challenges without saying it is mindset.
Yep.
He's constantly that word is underlined in almost everything he says.
Yep.
He could be saying, where'd you get that? Why do you think that? Why would you work that hard when you can do this? So today we're going to bring you the first word we're going to bring you is persist. And what does persist mean? Keep on going.
Do not stop.
That's exactly right. What is this word?
Obstinately.
Yeah, obstinately. Your friend might say, what are you on a rant about? I am obstinate about persisting where I am right now. Now you could only
Staying on course.
Staying on the course that I want.
Yes.
That I desire.
Yes.
And that is so important because that says to the universe, to your desire and to your dreams, I'm ready, my door's open, I'm not changing my mind.
Yes.
I am persisting in the way that I see my life now. I remember watching Leave It to Beaver. What was the other one? All the homemakers and housewives were on, and they would do all the work and just work themselves to pieces. The Brady Bunch,
and they were
there you go. And they were all adorable, but they were constantly working and doing and redefining. And it isn't until lately that you look at those and you go, those women, who were they? They weren't a them or a she.
Right.
They were the doers.
Right.
So we're not criticizing being with your family that way, but what we're saying is it has a sharp edge to it that if you don't persist about your own dream, you're not going to get there because you're the only one that can do it.
Right.
So we want you to think about persisting. Once you write down one simple little change, one dream that is doable maybe within the next 2 weeks, a show you wanted to see, a restaurant you wanted to go to, and you never gave yourself permission, persist. Really, because it will just open the door and you'll see, well, look at how this came about. Look at how I'm already doing it. It's made a lot. It's not hard, but it's made to look like it's a lot harder than it is.
Right.
And that's what we're really talking about.
Right, because we're so programmed to take care of everybody else or please everyone else.
And not be conscious of us.
Right. And it's now raise up and be conscious of yourself, and then you automatically take care of everyone else in the process.
Yes.
That is the thing that I wish I would have learned long ago. And absolutely. I get that the consciousness wasn't here, but boy, my life would have been night and day.
Oh, absolutely.
The way I raised my daughter with consciousness and this awareness, she will not even have to come close to experiencing any of that. It'll all be aligning as she goes.
Yes, but she will have to use her persistence.
Will persist,
but it's open field.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Right.
The open field that is laid before her now.
Yes.
Nothing
she
is
will
written
persist
in stone.
in her self, which is beautiful.
Yep. And you're all beautiful. You all deserve what you want and what you came here to do. And you didn't know that it wasn't just being a caretaker or just being a daughter or just being a friend.
A pleaser or a fixer.
Yeah,
a doer.
it's all about you.
Yeah.
And all those things are fine.
Yeah.
But if you're not taking care of you, it's not fine.
Right.
So that's why we brought up persist for the first word today. And the second one is, as we persist in what we believe, we have to insist on it, which means, let me see here.
The quality of insisting that something is done or should be done.
Yes, because the should be is on us in this one, in this case. So the insistence is not that you go say to your mate or your children, I insist that you do this. That you know what power you have when you use that word. Now we're asking you to turn it on you. And I think that is critical.
Yes.
Because the insistence of, Sandy, this is your life. What are you going to get out of it? It's got to match as you move forward with your family, your friends, your job. It has to be an equal balance. And insistence was not one word that we used for ourselves.
No.
It was always, well, I insist you do it, or
Right,
you
outside
know,
of yourself. And now it's really returning to yourself, which is the truth, which is always how it was meant to be.
Yes.
And just coming back to you.
Exactly. So that the words that we use on a conscious level, like persist and insistence, begin to work
With
the
us.
desires in our heart.
Right.
Because they ask the questions, well, if you're persisting, Sandy, if you're insisting, Audra, what are you talking about? There goes that 5-minute break that we need to find out what is going on here. So that's really important that we use that word when when we know we want change, and the minute you got to get out of your chair, you know the interruptions you have. It should not change the insistence or the persistence that you're training yourself to understand about you.
Right.
You know, you don't throw it off base. You just put it on hold and you keep that dream, that desire, that mindset in your heart to go ahead and make the changes.
Right.
Yep. Okay, and our next one is...
certainties.
Oh, I love this one. This is a favorite one for me because the certainty is what you know will happen, but you don't know how. You know it's coming or here, but you don't know how. But once you start persisting and insisting, what you're doing with the certainty is you're throwing it to the universe and say, that's none of my business. I don't want to get in the way because my way would take me 10 years.
Right.
And your way and certainty, the universe has all the corners worked out for us. All the ways worked out. Look to the left, look to the right, go over here and take a look at this. And we're talking about just general life. You will be surprised at how many things come up with just, oh my gosh.
You can expect the certainty to happen because you're in the persistence and you're insisting until the certainty has to show up because you're solid in you.
Yes, exactly.
So it's really carving out your path that works for you. And by divine, it all works together.
And aligns. And the best part about it is you're not doing all the work anymore.
Yeah. You're not doing the heavy lifting. That's what we're bringing to you. You're done with the heavy lifting, the trying, the chasing, the doing, the running, the second guessing. You're back. This puts you back in the driver's seat of your own car.
Yes.
Which helps with everything else. We're not bashing or trashing anyone else. We're just when you start to do it, you'll just start to experience, and we would love to hear the comments back on, oh my God, I actually did this. It felt really funny to begin with, right? But then once I got in the groove, it was like my kids came together. My relationship with my husband evolved. My work changed. There's like this peaceful flow to your life. It's
like a positive moving along.
Right.
And not all the...
Yeah, not getting slammed and bumped around like we've lived with all the chasing and the trying and the fixing and the wondering and the contemplating and the sharing and the opinions. Should I keep going?
No, please.
The shoulds, the coulds, the woulds.
Yeah.
None of that exists
And then
anymore.
You say, oh, I'm exhausted. Well,
oh, it makes sense.
It makes sense. Now when you begin to use words for yourself that start directing you in one area, they're not directing you away from anything. They're directing you to go inside, make some changes, and know that the universe is taking care of you because you have a spirit within you that is alive and well, and you came in that way.
And you might...
And now we're listening to you.
And to start, sometimes you do need the horse blinders on so you can stay focused, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You just keep taking one step, put those on, and only see persist in what you want to see and you know in your heart, and take one step at a time, and put the blinders on to help you if you need.
Yeah, that's why it's real important for you not to share. Because someone could say, out of total, loving you to pieces and innocence, oh, that's no big deal. You can. And you're like, no, I made it. Then you have to defend that.
Right.
So we're asking
and it's like you go back to the beginning and start over again, in a sense. You know what I mean? Because you kind of got knocked off a little. But that's still the navigating part.
Right.
So that's it works itself out again. But you go back right to the insistence and the persistence and the insistence. And then the certainty starts to show up because you're showing up.
Yes, exactly.
So it's just a little different way of navigating, but the freedom on this path is
the knowing. If you insist and persist and look for the certainties, it's the knowing, and we have a quietness about that knowing. That, well, I'm glad I'm not carrying that heavy load anymore.
Right. And when you don't have to share, really.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're just vibing in that know.
Yeah, exactly.
You're vibing in the knowing. And it's like, I don't really have to get approval. I don't have to defend or share. It's just this, you're like just kind of clipping along in your canoe with the river, and everything's showing up when it needs to show up. And it's just the sweetness of life starts to evolve.
Yes, exactly. And you'll notice it right away. So look for it. Look for it. And then the last word for this is the
belief.
The belief, because what you're doing is you're slamming, and I mean slamming, against some belief that, like you say, oh, I want to go to this restaurant. Oh, my parents always said those words, too highfalutin for me, and it doesn't stop your desire. And it doesn't mean you shouldn't go. But that's the belief that would stop. And what's another one?
We don't have the money right now. We don't have the time right now. There's, we can't really bring the 4 kids. We have
to buy clothes for the kids.
Yeah, we're going on this trip. It's always like cutting ourselves off from good, really.
Right. And what we're doing is saying, if you want to go to the restaurant, you and your partner or you and your husband go. Leave the kids home. Well, Sandy and Audra, I can't have a babysitter. What's that again? A belief. Who said you didn't have the money? Spend the money to go, because that experience will start the whole ball rolling. And you will see, oh my gosh, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. We went out, we had a good time, we talked, we took care of the kids, and they're having a good time without us, I'm sure of that.
For sure.
And everything went the way that you dreamed would happen. That's a desire. So now take and apply that desire to vacation, jobs, friends, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but you do have to challenge the belief when you get that immediate no, or I guess it's not an immediate no, it's more of a put off.
The beliefs are funny because sometimes
really
you're like,
sneaky.
I mean, they're really sneaky, but I use it for me personally is like when I have to defend the hell out of something, or I want to fight tooth and nail to keep something or prove something, I know that is a belief in my way that no longer serves me, because why do I have to fight anything? I don't. I don't have to defend myself, but I'm defending the belief. I'm locking it in. I'm blaming. The other thing is any blaming, shaming, judging. Those are all your beliefs playing out, because you're like, well, it's not me, it's them. Well, it's not my thing, it's you.
Well, like with the restaurant, that was your parents' judgment of the restaurant, and you adopted it.
Right.
So there we go again.
Yeah.
So there's
it's
all
not
kinds
really
of
what
ways.
you're thinking, but that you've adopted to think. But there's
the adoption is the stop. Don't you think?
Well, and
because
then you
the
feel
desire is clear.
Yeah.
But then there's a stopping, a pausing, a questioning, and you're like,
and there's always like kind of a riff or a tiff or a fight, you know, like. Well, he shouldn't have said that, or she should have done that, or my parents should have never told me that.
Right.
It's always like it's always outside of you. It's never inside of you.
No. No, exactly.
And so that's when you know, oh my God, that's really in my way, and I've got to pluck that out. And even in our sessions, we really help people get rid of those beliefs. They're such nonsense.
Well, yeah, because we teach them, this is one of the keys we do, is they did the best they could.
Yep.
They did only what they knew.
Yep.
They only could share with you what they felt. So when you take those three things together, you see, oh, that was mom and dad.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be me.
Right.
So it's an easy translation when you get to getting the help.
And the beliefs did serve us temporarily sometimes. You know what I mean? To keep us safe, or to keep us thinking, or to do this. You know, they did serve, right? But now bringing them along like a heavy backpack is not helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Bringing them.
Not if you want to live from your desires and insist and persist. You've really got to be like, you know what? I'm like over that.
Right, exactly. Because it really hits you hard when it comes to the money, when it comes to the house, when it comes to the kids. We're so limiting, but we don't know why or how it happened.
Right.
And that's where the help comes in, and we can really help you uncover some of those beliefs that you've carried for ages, and they're bricks on your back.
Right.
And there's just no reason for them anymore. Because they were never meant to be. They were always intended to help.
Right.
To, you know, like, don't cross the street. Now, I remember being told, don't cross the street, look both ways, you want to be careful. But then they added, or you'd get hit by a car. I'm like,
right.
You didn't need to say that.
Right. Right. Yeah, a lot of fear comes up and everything, or you're always feeling bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any belief that you know it's a belief when you feel bad, or you think you got it wrong, or
it's heavy.
Yeah. And then you know, oh my gosh, then that's when you have to stop and go in your heart and say, is this true for me any longer? Is this serving me any longer? Most of the time they're not.
Right.
So,
and it's so much fun, and I mean fun, watching our clients actually change and say, oh, I didn't know I could not think that, and it's gone already.
Right then and there, it's gone. It's the freedom and the shift in the mind, body, and soul happens immediately, because that stuff is like really heavy.
Yeah. And you did use a lens to look through your life through those beliefs, which is probably the most damaging.
Yes,
that lens.
Right.
And now we're saying, there you go, rip it off.
Time to put your pink sunglasses on and live a different way.
Yep, exactly. And you know what you want, even though you're sitting there thinking, I have no idea. Take off the fog glasses, forgive the people, and say they did the best they could. Yeah. And see what's underneath that.
Right.
And you will be popping with ideas, and we'd love to hear some.
Yes.
Have you been waiting for a trip to go to fill in the blank? Have you been waiting to hear from a friend? Fill in the blank. All those things are desires. And nothing is a rule.
Correct.
So have some fun with that. That belief system can be challenging, but once you start to remove it one at a time, based on a heart response that says, well, you can't go to that restaurant, or you can't, what's that about?
Yeah, like question everything, especially if you get that hit. You're like, why does this feel so weird?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Why do I even think that? You know?
Exactly.
I mean, we were raised to think so much silliness, like with the social programming alone, just like, men are this way, women are this way, kids are this way, pets are this way.
Yeah,
you know
we
what I
were
mean?
really
Like all
taught
pets
the
are
black and
like
white.
dirty and disgusting. It's like, well, really? Like, why do you have to throw a kibosh on pets, right?
Yeah.
Or, men are this way. Why don't you have to, why are we throwing each other under the bus? Those all need to be like, no, I don't have to think that anymore.
Right, exactly.
So it's so interesting. And so fun, because you're like, whoa, I didn't even know I had that, or I didn't even know I believed that. But then once you let go of it, it's like, oh, great.
Yeah, the freedom comes immediately.
Exactly. So reach out if you have questions. All our information is below. Please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends. And everyone have an amazing day wherever you are.
Yes.